Picture this. You drive your brand new luxury SUV off the dealer lot. That new car smell filling the cabin. You're feeling on top of the world. 3 months later, before you've even changed the oil for the first time, you've lost enough money to buy a decent used car. I'm talking $15,000, just gone. Today, I'm breaking down the 10 vehicles bleeding money faster than a Wall Street trader in a bear market. And if you're in the market for a new car right now, this video might just save you from making a very expensive mistake. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the worst offenders, and trust me, this one's a doozy. Before we get to the absolute worst, let's talk about the vehicles that are still hemorrhaging cash, just not quite as aggressively. The Infiniti QX80 loses about 44% of its value in those first 3 years. We're talking roughly $22,000 on a $50,000 purchase. The Lincoln Navigator follows close behind at 44.48%, which translates to similar losses. Now, BMW's X7, their flagship luxury SUV, drops 45.16% in value. You're losing nearly $23,000. And here's the kicker. This is supposed to be the pinnacle of German engineering luxury. The Cadillac Escalade, everyone's favorite hip-hop video star and suburban status symbol, loses 45.49% of its value. That's about $23,000 walking out the door on a vehicle that starts north of $80,000 in many configurations. And the Mercedes GLS and GLE, both losing over $20,000 with depreciation rates of 46.42%. These aren't cheap vehicles to begin with, which makes those losses even more painful. But now we get to the real nightmares, the vehicles that make financial advisors wake up in cold sweats. At number 3, the Maserati Levante. This Italian luxury SUV loses 46.83% of its value. That's nearly $24,000 on a $51,000 base model. And if you optioned yours up, you're looking at even steeper losses. Number 2, the Land Rover Range Rover. This one hurts. At 47% depreciation, you're watching almost half your investment evaporate. We're talking close to $24,000. And that's assuming you bought a base model. Most Range Rover buyers aren't exactly checking the basic package box. And the champion of depreciation, the vehicle that wins the award nobody wants, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. This Italian crossover loses a staggering 48.23% of its value on a $50,000 vehicle. That's nearly $24,000 vanishing into thin air. That's not a car payment, that's a car. Now, you might be asking, why are luxury SUVs dominating this list? It's not random, and understanding why is crucial whether you're buying new or used. First, let's talk about the obvious. These vehicles start expensive. A 40% loss on a $30,000 Honda is $12,000. The same percentage on a $60,000 Range Rover is $24,000. The math is brutal. Higher starting prices create bigger dollar amounts to lose, even if the percentage is similar. But here's the thing, these vehicles are losing 4 to 8 percentage points more than the industry average of about 40%. So it's not just about the price tag, the reliability nightmare. Here's where it gets interesting. Average repair costs on these vehicles exceed $900 per year. Compare that to a Toyota or Honda at around $500 to $600. Used car buyers know this. When they're shopping for a 3-year-old luxury SUV, they're thinking about that $900 repair bill every single year. That's not just an oil change and tire rotation. We're talking expensive parts, dealer-only diagnostics, and labor rates that'll make your eyes water. And the recalls? We're talking multiple recalls per model on many of these vehicles. That destroys buyer confidence. Nobody wants to buy a luxury vehicle that's been recalled 4 times in 3 years. But here's what most people don't realize. Lease returns are flooding the used market. Think about it. Who buys these vehicles new? A lot of buyers lease luxury SUVs because they want a new one every 3 years. They want the latest tech, the latest safety features, the newest design. What happens when all those leases end? Thousands of low-mileage, 3-year-old luxury SUVs hit the market simultaneously. Supply and demand, folks. When supply spikes, prices crater. And that affects everyone who bought new, not just lessees. These luxury vehicles are packed with cutting-edge technology, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, infotainment systems that do everything except make you breakfast. Sounds great, right? Here's the problem. Technology ages fast. The 3-year-old infotainment system in your Range Rover looks dated compared to what's in the new model. The safety tech that was groundbreaking in 2022 is standard on a base model Honda in 2025. Luxury features become mainstream quickly, which means the luxury you paid for depreciates faster than the actual vehicle.
Let's get into the actual numbers, because this is where it gets really eye-opening. Remember I mentioned these vehicles lose 4 to 8 percentage points more than the typical 40% industry average? Let's break down what that means in real dollars. Take the BMW X7. It's losing about 45% instead of 40%. On a $65,000 vehicle, that extra 5% is an additional $3,250 you're losing beyond what you'd expect from a normal car. That's a vacation. That's a down payment on another vehicle. That's money just gone. The Range Rover? At 47% instead of 40%, you're talking an extra 7% in losses. On a $70,000 vehicle, that's an additional $4,900 beyond normal depreciation. You could buy a decent motorcycle with that, or fund your retirement account for the year. In the Alfa Romeo Stelvio at 48.23%, that extra 8.23% on a $50,000 vehicle is over $4,000 in additional depreciation you wouldn't face with an average car. Here's what makes this even worse. This depreciation is front-loaded. You lose the most value in the first year, then years 2 and 3 continue the bleeding. By year 3, you've lost half your money. Compare that to a Toyota 4Runner or a Honda Pilot. They might lose 30–35% in the same time frame. The difference between 35% and 48%? On a $50,000 purchase, that's $6,500. That's not pocket change. And we haven't even talked about the other costs. Insurance on these vehicles is higher. Premium fuel requirements, those 900+ annual repair costs I mentioned. By year 3, the total cost of ownership on these vehicles is astronomical compared to mainstream alternatives. You could argue that you're paying for luxury, for the experience, for the brand. And that's fine if you know what you're getting into. But most people don't calculate the true cost. They see the monthly payment and think, I can afford this. They don't see the total loss in equity. All right, so we've identified the problem. These luxury SUVs are money pits. But here's the thing. One person's depreciation nightmare is another person's buying opportunity. Let me show you how to use this information, whether you're buying new or used. Let's be blunt. If you're planning to trade in or sell your vehicle within 3 to 5 years, these vehicles should be off your list. Period. End of discussion. I don't care how beautiful that Range Rover looks in the showroom. I don't care how amazing that Alfa Romeo drives. Losing $24,000 in 3 years is financial insanity unless you have money to burn. If you absolutely must have a luxury SUV, focus on brands with better resale value. Lexus, Porsche, even certain BMW models hold their value better. A Lexus RX 350 loses about 37–39% in 3 years. Still significant, but that's $8,000 to $10,000 less than a Range Rover. Or, and hear me out, consider a mainstream SUV. A Toyota Highlander, Honda Pilot, or a Mazda CX-9 will give you space, comfort, and reliability while losing thousands less in depreciation. Your ego might take a hit, but your bank account will thank you. Now, if you're shopping for a used vehicle, pay attention, because this is where it gets interesting. Target 2 to 3-year-old models from this list. Someone else has already taken the massive depreciation hit. You can buy a $70,000 Range Rover for $37,000. Same leather, same features, same prestige, half the price. Here's the key. Buy certified pre-owned when possible. You get an extended warranty, which helps offset those high repair costs. You get a vehicle inspection, and you get a luxury SUV at a 50% discount. Let's do some math. A 3-year-old Maserati Levante that sold for $80,000 new, you can probably find it for $40,000 to $45,000. That same money buys you a brand new, well-equipped mainstream SUV. But if you want the Maserati experience, the luxury, the performance, the Italian styling, you can have it at half the price. The catch? Be prepared for those repair costs. Budget $100 to $150 per month for maintenance and repairs, and consider buying an extended warranty. Yes, warranties aren't usually great deals, but on these vehicles, they might actually be worth it. Here's what the smart money does. Buy a 2 to 3-year-old luxury SUV from this list, drive it for 3 to 4 years, then sell it before major repairs hit. At that point, you've experienced luxury ownership, most of the depreciation has already happened, and you can move on before things get dicey. You let the first owner absorb the massive depreciation hit. You enjoy the vehicle during its reliable years, then you exit before things get dicey. But maybe you're not interested in luxury SUVs at all. Maybe you just want a vehicle that holds its value. In that case, stick with the usual suspects: Toyota, Honda, Subaru. Look at trucks. The Toyota Tacoma and Tundra hold value incredibly well. Jeep Wranglers are depreciation-proof. These vehicles might not have the cachet of a Range Rover, but they lose 25 to 35% in 3 years instead of 48%. On a $50,000 purchase, that's $5,000 to $9,000. That's real money. Look, here's the bottom line. Depreciation is the single biggest cost of vehicle ownership, and most people completely ignore it. They focus on the monthly payment, the 0% financing, the rebates, but nobody's talking about the $15,000 to $24,000 you're losing in 3 years. If you're buying new and you choose one of these vehicles, you need to go in with your eyes open. You're not buying transportation, you're buying an experience, and that experience costs serious money. But if you're buying used, this list is a roadmap to luxury ownership at mainstream prices. You just need to be smart about it. The car industry doesn't want you to know these numbers. Dealers definitely don't want you thinking about depreciation when you're signing on the dotted line. But now you know, and knowledge is power. And in this case, knowledge is money saved. If this video helped you avoid a financial mistake or helped you find a great deal, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that actually saves you money. Drop a comment below. Are you shopping for a new car right now? Are any of these vehicles on your list? Let me know. And remember, the best car deal is the one you make with full information. Drive smart out there. I'll see you in the next one.